Over the last 2 years, the way people search has fundamentally changed. We're no longer punching keywords into a text box. We're having a back and forth conversation with an AI chatbot about how to plan our next vacation or what toy to get for a kid who's interested in science on their birthday. Now, for companies who have invested decades in optimizing their websites and pages for traditional search, this is pretty scary. Traffic patterns are changing quickly and dramatically. If you're interested in learning about how you can evolve for this new world, my colleague, Westcott, who has decades of experience in traditional search, has created both an AI agent and a playbook. This will go out and do not just the research for what you need to do, but also create the strategy to help you implement it. It can do all that across 500,000 web pages you share with it in 15 minutes or less. That kind of research would have taken an analyst hours, maybe even days. If you're interested in learning more, stick around and my colleague Christian will show you how it's done.
If you're like me and you work in marketing, maybe you manage a website, or you're wrestling with SEO for a major brand, then you know that the game has fundamentally changed when it comes to search. People aren't clicking the 10 blue links in traditional search like they used to. Now more frequently, they're having a back and forth conversation with a chatbot, asking increasingly complex questions. Sometimes they click a link, sometimes they don't. Now, SEO is still the base of everything, but how can brands respond when it comes to optimizing for generative and answer-based search? I'm going to take you through an agent I built using a set of playbook instructions that can research the latest GEO and AEO strategies, analyze a ton of data from your website, and then provide recommendations. It can do all of that in the form of a beautiful slide deck that you can share with your colleagues or send to your boss after lunch for some brownie points. Let's say you're one of our clients. You work at Wave, a huge multinational telecom with hundreds of thousands of web pages, all of which have been optimized over decades for traditional search. But how do you optimize them to show up when your customer is talking to ChatGPT or Google AI mode? I'm going to hop into Writer Agent here for a second. You can chat directly with the agent, but I'm going to head over to Playbooks, where I have this AEO and GEO readiness playbook set up. This is a set of instructions that I've written, which I'll refine and iterate on over time, and they tell the agent exactly what I want it to do. So first thing it's going to do is figure out the context I've given it. I'll give it a company name here in this variable. I've then asked it to hop over to these 6 highly regarded websites to research the latest best practices for AI search. I've also told it to have a bias towards recency, given how fast this space is developing. Now I'm going to provide some data about the website. Screaming Frog is excellent for crawling large websites, so I've run it across the Wave site. You can use other crawlers, but you just need to tweak the instructions. There are variables for each of the files I can grab from Screaming Frog. I've then given it instructions on what to expect when it analyzes each of the files and what it can safely ignore. Next, I'm asking it to look at the best practice research it gathered and compare it to the crawl data, then put it into a presentation which covers everything from key trends to prioritized recommendations and clear next steps. And finally, we want to make sure it's branded correctly. So we have variables here for the company logo and the company brand guidelines. I'll go ahead and run this playbook, then let's add in the files it's requesting. We'll set it going, but I'm going to hop over to a finished playbook that I ran earlier. Firstly, it's built a comprehensive plan based on my instructions, which it's worked through. It then went off and did the research across the websites that I gave it. It's written Python code to analyze the Screaming Frog files, which contain huge amounts of data. Then it's assembled a summary of the findings. It's looked at the brand guidelines and logo that I provided. And then it's made an outline of the presentation. So let's jump to the presentation and look at the final output that it created. I've got a branded presentation with some executive highlights showing a readiness score. I can also get a quick overview of the site's strengths and gaps based on the data. We can see that one of the gaps highlighted here is the minimal use of FAQ schema. There's information about the shift to natural language search with some examples. In traditional search, someone might have previously looked for best business mobile phones UK, but now they're looking for what mobile phone solution would work best for a 50-person UK business that needs international calling. We've got critical industry stats showing the rapid shift to AI search. We've got an overview of the website audit giving us some high-level metrics. And there's lots more information to digest on the rest of the slides. Finally, we've got immediate actions, a strategic roadmap plan, and an execution plan for the rest of the year. This is all built on solid research and website data, so you can start to take action immediately. As you can see, I've got everything I need to know about Axiom Wave's readiness for AI search. I can ask the agent to adjust the slides, or I can download the deck as a PowerPoint file, make the changes myself, or even upload it to Google Slides. I used to build presentations like this when I worked for an SEO agency many years ago. They take at least a week and they wouldn't look half as good as this. We've just done it in a matter of minutes. If you want to learn more about what you can do with Writer Agent, then head to writer.com or follow us on LinkedIn for more playbooks.
The playbook and agent that Christian just showed you is one of dozens we've built at Writer over the last year to help our clients navigate the perilous transition from traditional search to conversational AI-powered chatbots. Now, these agents can do a lot of things. They can analyze the sentiment around your brand across dozens of platforms like Perplexity, Gemini, Claude, or ChatGPT. They can also help you write with a new FAQ schema, which will ensure that you show up at the top of the conversation when people are asking questions about your product or industry. These are the tools that modern marketing teams are using to stay ahead on the web and keep up with how consumers are behaving today. If you're interested in learning more about how the Writer marketing team uses AI, you can check out the links in the description for more about playbooks and agents. And if you're in field marketing, be sure to tune in next week. We're going to show off a playbook and agent that could save you hours of time and a lot of stress.